Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to try talking a little bit more about the twin flame separation related phases, why it happens, and why we go through a push pull dynamics with our twin flame. Um, in one of my previous videos from a few years back, I talked about how twin flame journey can be like a seesaw act, and basically, because we are all in a ascension journey, and because twin flames are two different bodies but have the same soul energy, anytime something happens with one twin flame counterpart, it is going to impact the other counterpart, because like in a seesaw which is in a straight line and which needs to be balanced, that is how the energies need to be balanced in a within the couple itself as well as within our own bodies. Say because I'm a twin flame, and let's say I'm manifesting a lot of the masculine energy in my life. So while I'm manifesting masculine energy in my life, what happens with my twin flame is that he will be manifesting at that same time the feminine energy in his life. And also the vice versa can happen. Like, say this week I was manifesting the masculine energy, this week he was manifesting more of the feminine energy. But next week it can happen that it can flip over, and I could be manifesting the feminine energy and he could be manifesting more of the masculine energy. Because as you see the Vesica Pisces symbol that is there, or the yin yang symbol that shows like there is a little bit of black dot inside the white colored yin yang symbol, and on the other end there is a black dot inside the white. Sorry, I lost track a little bit. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the yin yang symbols and the Vesica Pisces symbol, there's going to be there's a white fish and a black fish, and there's a dot inside of them which is of the opposite color, showing the masculine feminine energy or the duality that exists in our life. So it can represent the light and dark, it can represent the masculine and feminine, it can represent depression and anxiety, it can represent sadness and joy. So we will always have this duality inside of us as we are existing on this earth. And as we are ascending, there are going to be people who will manage to balance this duality that is within them. So they will be able to balance the masculine and feminine energies, they'll be able to balance the light and dark aspects of their personality, they'll be able to balance and understand the suffering and joy, that they're both two sides of the same coin. So, in order for us to balance and experience all these different kinds of energies and aspects of our personality while we are existing here, that's why we have this twin flame journey. And because the twin flame journey helps us in understanding it in a even more deeper manner. So, because what is happening while you are on this journey, as you start to ascend and as you start experiencing the 5D aspects of the journey, you will not only understand your own self, you will also start understanding another person. You will start understanding the journey of the person you loved, either in the past, who may or may not have been your twin flame, but you will also understand the journey of your twin flame. So the more you understand yourself, the more you understand others, the more you understand the person you love and care for, and the more you understand the people and different kinds of things happening with different people around you in your life, the better you are able to understand the duality of living. So, but in order for us to go through all these understandings, go through all these experiences, understand deeply why, light and dark is happening, happiness and joy and suffering and pain are happening, why suddenly we are in a masculine energy more, why suddenly we are in a feminine energy more, all these things, in order to understand this, if we have a twin flame with us, what happens is we can mirror and show each other the opposite effect also of what is happening. So when you are being masculine, if you see your twin flame being feminine, you understand deeply, like, oh yeah, I'm being more masculine right now, that's why he's been more feminine, or vice versa, I'm being more feminine today, that's why he's been more masculine today. And it's a very interesting dance of duality that starts happening, and very interesting drama that starts playing with us when we observe this in another human being who's like mirroring also but complementing us as well as showing us how we are sometimes projecting ourselves and our personality on the world in a more interesting manner, just because we're the same soul, experiencing something different in two different bodies. But all these things, how are you going to understand? How are you going to observe? How are you going to face that? If you are constantly with your twin flame, sometimes you will not observe that. If you're constantly with your twin flame in your 3D life, living a life with them, leading and doing certain things with them, sometimes you will fail to observe these interesting observations that the universe wants to send our way. And these observations, experiences, understanding of duality, understanding of differences between humans, understanding the similarities despite the differences, ये सब experiences, in order to understand these experiences, the separation happens. But when the separation happens, it causes us pain because we don't wish to be away from our twin flame. We wish to be merged with the twin flame. The God and universe has given us this desire to be merged with the twin flame. And that's why the separation can seem so painful, so difficult at first, so challenging. And because if we are unhealed and if we have, say, anxiety related to some abandonment wound that might have happened to us in our past, then that's why it triggers us, that we feel abandoned if our twin flame has separated from us and is not talking to us, is not communicating with us, is not connecting with us in the 5D or even in the 3D. So if that connection goes away, then we start getting this anxiety, like, what is happening? Does this person even care about me? Or is this person going to leave me? And why does that happen? Because then this is a way of the universe to show us that all these experiences that emotions that we are experiencing inside of us, why is it happening? It is a way for the universe to ask us to question, why am I feeling this anxiety when my twin flame is not talking to me? Why do I not like it when we're not in communication? Why do I get angry, or why do I feel sad? Why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel like running away from this twin flame? So if we start asking, the God wants us to ask these questions, and God wants us to ask these questions so that we can go inside of us, so that we can understand deeply what is happening in our life. Why are we feeling this way? And if we are feeling this way, what is the root cause of that anxiety, root cause of the sadness, root cause of like when one person is feeling abandoned, the other person wants to run away. So why is that happening? Why is one person feeling very abandoned and why is the other person wanting to run away? You have to understand that. And it will flip also. Sometimes they will want to connect to you and you are not ready to connect in that time, and you will wish to run away. But those are all happening because there are wounds inside of us. We might have learned something in this lifetime, we might have learned something in the past lifetime, which might make us feel, I'm not deserving of this love. That's when someone wants to run away. Or someone might feel, I'm not ready for this love. I don't know if I have the potential to love someone this deeply, this unconditionally. And you may have the potential, but you have not realized it within yourself. So your soul starts, like, getting agitated. Am I ready for it? Am I in the right energy for it? You start doubting yourself. So all your doubts, fears, triggers of emotionally, feeling undeserving about something, your lack mentality of not like being ready to accept a beautiful and pure love, or inside of you, you have not forgiven yourself for certain things you did to other people. When you might start feeling like, I was not a great human being to my ex-boyfriend, or I was not a great human being to my ex-girlfriend, I was really crappy with my parents, or I have been crappy with all these neighbors or friends I know. So you will start like feeling very unworthy. So in order to be feeling worthy of the love, that's when the separation happens, so that you start appreciating why this journey is there for you, why you have decided to be in such a journey. You start appreciating the human being that is sending you unconditional love. So say I'm feeling unworthy, despite my unworthiness, if universe, god, my twin flame, or someone else starts showing love towards me, what happens? Then I start understanding like, okay, I am worthy. कुछ भी गलत कर दिया है हमने हमारे लाइफ में, like if we have not been the perfect human being that we wish to be, but despite that some love is coming our way, then it shows you like the worthiness of your soul. It starts also showing you not just the worthiness of your soul, is it starts showing the beauty of god, that god will give you what you deserve despite you not feeling that you deserve it. So to help you understand that, sometimes the separation will happen. Sometimes the separation will happen like, yes, you are separated physically from the twin flame, you're not talking with them, you're not interacting with them, you're not even existing in the same life as them. You're like just living in two different countries, maybe you're living in two different states, or you're living in very different worlds, doing different things in your life. But despite that, there will be something pulling you towards them. There will be the universe trying to make you join with them. There will be reminders about them. There will be beautiful magic happening. Some of it will seem like magic, some of it will seem like torture, depending on how open you are to that experience. And also depending on what you want to experience. Do you want to experience magic? Do you want to experience torture? Like if you feel love is about magic, you might start experiencing a lot of magic. If you feel love is about pain, then you might experience a lot of pain. If you And these are all like some false belief systems universe created, or people around us have created for us as we were growing up. Because when true love is not existing in some relationship of your parents, say, or your grandparents didn't have true love, or one person in your parents dynamics was into love but the other person didn't believe in it, or not just your parents, in your friends relationships, in the relationships of your colleagues, you see that a true beautiful bonding is not existing. So all those things have put these negative belief systems in our mind, that true love that we see in movies doesn't exist. It's just a hypothetical movie story book life that people are talking about, because we don't see it in our normal lives with normal people around us. So we create that belief system also, that true love doesn't exist, that magic doesn't exist, that beautiful unconditional love doesn't exist. Even though we might read it in the stories, but we'll take it as a myth. We might have read it in the story of Shiv Parvati. We might have read it in the story of Radha Krishna. We might have seen it in Romeo Juliet's story. We might have seen it in many other stories that we have read throughout the years, or seen throughout the years on TV or movies. But we don't believe it. And why we don't believe it? Because we don't see it, we haven't experienced it. Or when we try to experience it with someone, because we were wishing for it in our soul, that person rejected our advances. Or even if they didn't reject our advance, if someone else was showing their love to us, we got scared of that love and we ran away, or we couldn't reciprocate back it to that other person. So all these experiences have piled up in our mind, have piled up in our soul, have created this story and picture that is actually not true, or which is actually only partly true of the time when you experience those things. But at this present moment, it is all false. At this present moment, what is true? If you have already started on the twin flame journey, if universe has already shown you this XYZ person is your twin flame, then the present moment story is that a beautiful journey of love is possible for you. Then the present moment of the story is it is possible for you to have as good a love you wish to have. It is possible for you to go beyond the love that you can even dream of. But all these possibilities in the present and future will only open up if you're doing your healing, if you're feeling balanced about your twin flame, if you understand that even in the separation, there is something God is trying to do for you, there is a lesson behind it. And as you start understanding it and becoming more and more balanced, then you go through the next and next step of evolution of the twin flame journey, because that is what each separation is about, to evolve you as a human being, to help you understand yourself better, help you understand your twin flame better, help you understand you and your twin flame better, help you get to understand deeply what is your twin flame soul purpose, what are you meant to do when you are separate, and what are you meant to do when you are together. Because twin flames, like any other couples, will have some separate things to do in their life and will have some joint purposes to do in their life. So वो उसको etch out कैसे करना है, how do you want to start, like, envisioning कैसा चाहिए मुझे life. And if not with this guy who is triggering you, or this girl who is triggering you, and you don't wish to be with a particular guy or girl who is scaring you, then okay, write a story about who do you wish to be with. Even if the twin flame, if the God says XYZ person is your twin flame, but you're too afraid of that twin flame, then God will also show you ABC person, another person, like 2-3 potentials will also be shown to you. Then you decide, do you want this XYZ twin flame? Do you want this ABC alternative soulmate? Do you want someone else? If you do want them, why are you attracted to them? Why do you want to be with them? Because most of the time, even though all of us have a desire inside of our heart and soul to have a beautiful relationship with someone, to all of us have this desire to be cared for and loved by someone, but that desire is not just enough to have a beautiful relationship. To have the beautiful relationship, apart from the desire to have one, something more has to happen. And that something more has to be a internal realization in your soul, in your mind, in your heart, in your life. Like, what kind of life do I want? What kind of soul needs do I have? What is my inner heart's desire? What challenges me? What kind of personality and relationship will bring me fulfillment and joy? What kind of relationship would bring out the best in me so that I can give fulfillment and joy to another human being? All these things, because twin flame journey or love isn't really about getting. It is also about giving. What are you capable of giving? And are you capable of giving to another human being what they require? And some of it will be self-doubt, but some of it is also about self-growth. Like, if you hadn't had that capability, say when you were younger and you were dating a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and at that time you felt like a failure with them because you were not meeting their needs or they were not meeting your needs, and both were happening. Now 10 years down the line, or 5 years down the line, or even 2-3 years down the line, have you evolved yourself to understand what was missing? Did you understand what was missing from the other side? What was missing from your side? तो ये सब अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट एंड ग्रोथ के लिए सेपरेशन हो जाता है. पीपल स्टार्ट सेपरेटिंग फ्रॉम ईच अदर so that you sit down. And if you haven't reflected 10 years back what was wrong with your relationship, God wants to give you the time now to sit down and realize ki what things had to change from your perspectives and your inner soul expression of love. What needs to change? What needs to change from another human being that will make you feel comfortable? There were certain things that was not working with a past relationship because they were not in your comfort zone, or not in such a comfort zone where you were able to be your true self. So with your twin flame, are you able to be your true self? And if you still haven't developed the capacity to be your true self with them, what do you need to do to be your true self? Because God wants every human being to be their best self, to be the best version they can be, and also to realize the true potential of their self, because each human being is very unique. And when you were not matching with someone else in the past, there was a reason behind it. Or when you saw couples who were not matching with each other in your past and present, be it couples in your family, friends, colleagues, whatever, when you saw those different kinds of loves that didn't resonate for you, that made you feel sad and disappointed and angry about the status of love on earth, those wishes were also God's way of bringing this desire in your soul. Like, this kind of love doesn't attract me. This kind of love that I have seen in others is seeming so false, or this kind of love is not what I am seeking. So, what are you seeking though? You have to understand what is your soul seeking, what brings beauty and joy and laughter and magic and growth and happiness, everything. Like, what brings this beautiful magical energy inside of you, and also what brings the balance inside of you. Because sometimes a person might feel very disbalanced looking at a certain kind of love that doesn't resonate for their soul. They might start feeling this is not what love is for me, so their kind of love doesn't work for me. But what works for you, then you have to understand, you have to figure out, you have to find. And if twin flame is doing something that is not in your comfort zone, how can you get into the comfort zone with them? And if you can't get into the comfort zone with them, then what is the choice and alternative? Is there an alternative soulmate with whom you can experience a life journey where you're more comfortable experiencing that kind of love? Or can you work on yourself? That is what the inner work is. Can you do an inner work to heal yourself enough to become, to feel, start feeling worthy for this twin flame? Because everyone is worthy. When you are worthy, then only the God will show, the universe will show this is your twin flame. But it is our own insecurity, our own fear, that prevents us from feeling comfortable enough, feeling worthy enough, feeling blessed enough to have a joyful relationship with someone. एंड वही चीज़ें जो अंदर से हमको स्टर करी है आर मेकिंग अस एंक्शियस, आर मेकिंग अस डिप्रेस्ड, इज मेकिंग अस सैड और एंग्री और एनी अदर रेंज ऑफ इमोशंस, वही इमोशंस को एड्रेस करने के लिए द ट्विन फ्लेम जर्नी इज देयर. यू हैव टू एड्रेस दीज इमोशंस slowly or as soon as possible, depending on what is your personality, what is your ability to process these energies. And when you are finding everything overwhelming, you can always ask the universe for guidance to either show you real life teachers in your life who can come and help guide you through your process. Or even if not real life teachers are there, universal teachers are always going to be there. People on YouTube are going to be there. People of the past who have learned about love will show up for you. Their books will show up for you. Their movies and stories will show up for you to understand from their journey certain perspectives that can then help you understand the challenges you are facing, or the doubts and fears that you are facing. And only after you are able to acknowledge your own doubts, your own fears, your own sadness and anger, then only you can start working on fixing those, or working on adapting and shifting certain perspectives. Because once, if you don't have an understanding, you can't understand. And if you, after you have if you don't acknowledge that there is a problem, then you can't understand what is the problem. And if you don't acknowledge and then don't understand what is the problem, how will you go towards a solution? Or how will you ask the universe, I need guidance for a solution, I need help? So that's why acknowledging some problem is important. Acknowledging why the triggers are happening is important. Acknowledging why the separation is there is important. Understanding then deeply your own self is important. And then after acknowledging and understanding, then only you can ask help. And after asking help, when helps arrives, you have to also be willing to accept that help from the universe. It can happen in the form of a friend, it can happen in the form of someone you don't know, a stranger, it can happen in the form of someone who's been teaching for a long time, it can happen in the form of someone who is a new minted teacher, whatever it is. When the help is happening, it can be from books or random things that you messages that you see in the daily life from newspapers or signs on the road. It can come from various sources, and the sources that it will come to you will be in the form that you will understand. But after the sources have come, after it is in the form that you understand, if you're not ready to accept that help, ready to accept that teaching, ready to accept that mentor or teacher or sign that is showing up, then what will happen is that some darker experiences can show up and to wake you up. Or if not, darker experiences will show up. Certain experiences will show up that will sound like a hammering to you, like the universe will be like, do this, do this, do this. Either the universe will be bombarding you about your twin flame, or the universe will be bombarding you about your soul purpose, or the universe will be keeping on showing some videos about someone. Why? Because they might want you to like either a video about someone or a writing about someone, or videos about many different kinds of people, writings of different kinds of people, because the universe wants to take you to a direction where you can learn from. And maybe your soul hasn't acknowledged that this learning is necessary, but some learning is necessary. That's why certain same lessons will keep showing up for you. And when these kind of lessons and challenges are showing up, it is very hard for us to go through the lessons as well as manage a beautiful relationship with the twin flame. And that's why also sometimes these separations will be happening, because for our own good, so that while you are going through some challenges, while your twin flame is going through some challenges, the universe will want to keep you separate so that you both understand how you can individually work through those challenges. And the places where you can't individually work and where you need your twin flame, the universe wants you to make that wish and desire also, right? That say you are having some 10 problems in your life, and out of those 10 problems you realize that 7 of those problems you can solve yourself, but there might be 3 problems which you and your twin flame are jointly meant to solve, because they are your soul purpose related problems. But how will you understand this is a soul purpose related problem and this is the individual learning that I came to understand in this earth? In order for you to make you understand that, separation happens, ताकि आपको समझ में आए कि अभी सपोज universe wants the divine feminine to become independent and to become wiser about some choices that they're making in their life. So maybe the divine feminine wasn't independent earlier. She was very codependent on the fiance or the husband or the parents, and she didn't have her own financial life. So then they will show some journeys and challenges to the divine feminine so that she can improve herself and become financially independent. Or there was a divine masculine who was always thinking that who's entrenched in societal paradigm that a woman has to be dependent on him financially and things like that. But he finds a divine feminine who's already like financially very secure. Then it will start triggering his belief systems, and he needs to change his belief systems or adapt his belief systems to understand that wife always being codependent on you isn't a good thing necessarily. In fact, he might even start understanding like all the women in the past with whom he had relationships, his relationships didn't go in a good manner because these women were only dependent on him for finances and they were not really dependent on him for love, because twin flame journey is about true love. So in order to understand true love, some monetary challenges came in both their paths for them to understand that true love is beyond the monetary challenges. True love is not about the money, it is about something else. So every twin flame couple will have like that different challenges. There could be in my past videos when I talked about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Their differences we can all see, right? We've all seen social status wise, or lifestyle wise, or how they were brought up, or what life they had. There were many differences between them. There were many things that gave them a different range of experiences to have. Why? Because both of them chose, as two different bodies, to have two different sets of opposing spectrum experience. But then, even despite the opposite spectrum experience they had, one living in UK, one living in America, one being of a certain skin color, one being of a certain age, one being of certain social strata, one having a certain professional life, everything wise they were very different from each other, but yet they had some similarity. They both have some father wounds inside them because of the way their fathers have treated them. They both have parental wounds that they have to learn about, heal about, because they are now parents. They are parents to two kids. So if they don't heal their internal parental wounds, and either while together, while separate, while working in separate places, because now they're joined as a couple, but despite that, sometimes universe might send them into separation phases while they're working in different areas of life. So when they are doing that separate journey of, having some professional life that is separating them away for a few days or a few weeks, at that time also they have to jointly work to be a good parents to their kids. And if they haven't seen good parental relationships in the past, for them they came with that template only, to not have good parental relationships so that they will become better parents. Both of them actually give me, in the last video I said Mary Magdalene and Jesus type look, but they also give me Joseph and Mary type of vibe as well. So, like Joseph and Mary were beautiful parents to Jesus, these two have to be beautiful parents to the kids they have, or not just the kids they have. They might have to be a beautiful example of parenthood for the entire world, because they both are quite famous. So, when you're famous, you can be an example not just for your own personal life people, but also the global population who follows you and admires you and respects you, right? So they can be source of inspiration to many people about many things associated with their specific individual lives as well as their joint lives. So likewise with any twin flame couple like them, similar things will happen. Like you don't have to be famous like them, but even if you're not famous like them, when you are living a life as a twin flame, either jointly or separately, while you're doing your own separate things, some of the separation will be forced upon you by the universe, some of the separation will be organically happening as a result of the professions you choose, the work you do. Some of the united things also will be happening organically. Some of the united things will also be happening because of the wishes and desires of both couples. But whatever is happening, be it a separate act, be it a joint unified work that the twin flames are doing, when you're doing those work, you're meant to inspire each other, you are meant to inspire people around you, you're meant to, if not inspire, at least show them a way of a different kind of love that is possible, a different kind of lifestyle possibly that is possible. And each twin flame will have a different journey, and as they are going through that different journey, is where the magic is of their relationship, is where the human experience range is there in their relationship. And that range will always have highs and lows, darkness and light. Like any relationship, it will always have some good and bad things in it. But how balanced are you when the bad things are happening, and how more balanced you can become, how more evolved you can become, is where the twin flame separation or twin flame journey together or twin flame life purpose, all these are involved in it. So I hope this video was educational for you and gave some insights to you as to why we go through separation, why sometimes triggers will happen for us, and why when we are experiencing it, even if we are in pain, maybe it's also a part for you to understand or and appreciate all the joyful phases that you had with your twin flame. Because when you are in pain, what do? When you're in pain and suffering or anger and sadness, you make a wish and desire for something else to happen. And that wish and desire is what the universe wants. The universe wants a beautiful relationship for you. The universe wants you to make that wish to inside your soul. And if you don't make that wish, how will you manifest it? So in order to make you wish that I want a different life, I want a life with a beautiful partner, I want a life with a beautiful journey with someone who understands me, who appreciates me, who I understand, who I appreciate, who I can shower love on, whatever the wishes are there inside your soul, वो soul के wishes आप express नहीं करोगे universe को, how will universe give it to you? So आप जब express करोगे, then only that person will show up. And when that person shows up, आप ready, when you're ready and balanced and healed, then everything will work fluidly and smoothly, and वो synchronicity that people talk about, synchronicities will happen, and step by step you will be just moving in aligned motion with each other. And whenever there is some imbalance, whenever there is something that we need to heal on, some maybe you had some jealousy related things you had to work on, maybe you had some finance related things you had to work on, maybe you had some universal love related things you had to work on, whatever is your own personal journey. These are some examples about what I had to learn. But likewise, every couple will have their own things to learn on. What are the biases that you had? What are the negative belief systems we kept in our mind about love, or about soul purpose, or about twin flames, or even about just ourselves? कि क्या negative belief system you have created in your head about yourself that you need to let go of? So in order to heal, in order to understand your journey better, and in order to have a more balanced and happier life in within yourself, your universe will always try to take you to a path which may seem difficult at first, which may seem painful at first, but usually in that painful path and difficult path, and in the separation and trigger filled areas, is the place where you will grow the most, you will understand yourself the most, you will understand your twin flame the most, you will appreciate God the most, you will appreciate God ka maya and illusion and magic the most. And as you understand these, as you acknowledge this, as you understand yourself better, more evolved you will become as a human being, to appreciate even the good things that are happening to you. More evolved you will become in helping others appreciate those good things, and in shaping the destiny and path that will bring joy and happiness and healing and health to your soul, and even balance, not just to you but to your twin flame as well. Because as things are happening to you, likewise something similar is happening to your twin flame also. Because when you are going through a growth phase, the twin flame is also going through some growth phase. When you are learning some experiences, he is also learning some experiences. When you're learning to be a better human being, he's also learning to be a better human being. When you're learning to appreciate him better, he is also learning to appreciate you better. So इसीलिए the separation happens. That's why God creates these scenarios where you can do more inner work and more self development, to be better as a human being, to go and follow God's directed path. Because when we become lost and sad and angry, we also seek God's help. And many human beings have forgotten about seeking God's help. Even though God's help is always present to all of us, we forget sometimes about God. We forget sometimes that God is always there with us. Even when we are in our loneliest and depressed and angriest and saddest and unworthy moments, God is always watching us. Our angels and guides are always watching us and waiting for us to ask their help, ask their support, ask their healing. And if you ask it, you will receive it. If you believe it, you will receive it. And once you receive it and believe it and acknowledge it and accept it, then whatever you have received from the universe, your pot of happiness and joy is full. And once your pot of happiness, joy, balance, health, healing, love, everything is full, then it will naturally overflow from you to the world, to the person you love, to the people you want to care about. It will just naturally start happening. That's why everything is becomes like a very natural and smooth process if you start surrendering to God, start surrendering to even the difficult aspects of your life journey, and start accepting the beautiful aspects and appreciating the beautiful things that are happening to you. I hope this helped you, and please drop a comment or a like and let me know what you want to know more about. This was maybe a little bit meandering, I don't know. I'll try to keep shorter videos. I'm trying my best, but I sometimes fail at it. So, anyways, I hope to hear back some comments from you to learn more about your journeys, or if you need any help in understanding your separation journey, please drop a comment and I would love to help you. Take care.